treating men did not become hysterical. Practitioners in the new field of psychiatry shared the view of Sigmund Freud in Vienna that hysteria, a word derived from the Greek for uterus, was a female condition. Laurent referred to the soldier's malady as la commotion cerebrospinale, a variant of what American Civil War doctors had called windage, undetectable molecular disruption of the spinal cord from the vibration of speeding bullets and shells. Concussion had caused some, but not all of the neuroses. Laurent's and the RAMC doctors' denial of the emotional causes of physical disabilities would influence the military response to mental illness when Europe's Great War began in the summer of 1914. Industrial-era weaponry deployed on a mass scale from August 1914 to November 1918 exacted a greater toll in dead and wounded than in any previous war. For the first time in history, millions of men faced high-velocity bullets, artillery with previously unimaginable explosive power, modern mortar shells, aerial bombardment, poison gas, and flamethrowers designed to burn them alive. British casualties soared on August 26, 1914, a bare 3 weeks into the war, when German artillery ravaged the British Expeditionary Force, BEF, at Le Cateau in northeast France. In October, the Battle of Ypres produced so many cases of mental shock that the War Office dispatched a leading neurologist, Dr. William Aldrin Turner, of London's National Hospital for the Paralysed and Epileptic, to France to discover the causes. Examining otherwise healthy men afflicted by deafness, deaf mutism, blindness, stammering, palsies, spasms, paraplegia, acute insomnia, and melancholia, he concluded, in many instances he, the soldier, may persevere with his work until a severe psychical shock, such as seeing one of his friends killed beside him, severe shelling, an upsetting experience, or bad news from home, unsteadies him and precipitates a definite attack of neurasthenia, requiring rest and treatment at home. As the war progressed, doctors recorded an escalating proportion of mental breakdowns alongside the usual statistics of killed, wounded, and missing. The percentage increased as the war froze along a static cordon of opposing trenches from the English Channel south more than 400 miles to the border of neutral Switzerland. Along this deadly frontier, troops of both sides endured the relentless hammering of devastating artillery in a dark, underground world from which the only escape was injury or death. Debate among military physicians and between doctors and senior officers raged over how to deal with the unblooded wounded. Dr. Myers criticized the military for regarding shell-shocked soldiers as either insane and destined for the madhouse or responsible and should be shot. The question persisted throughout the war. Should men who broke down on the field of battle be disciplined or receive medical attention? By war's end, firing squads had executed some, practitioners had administered punishing electric shocks to others, and psychiatrists offered Freudian psychoanalysis to a lucky few. But even then, the treatment's purpose was to thrust shattered boys and men back into the violent conditions that had caused their breakdowns, troubling physicians who had to weigh duty to patients against military necessity. The problem of soldiers' mental health became a crisis in the summer of 1916 when British General Sir Douglas Haig launched an all-out assault to break the German line in northern France's Somme Valley. Preparatory, uncamouflaged massing of forces and supplies, together with a week-long artillery barrage to reduce enemy defences, alerted the Germans to the impending onslaught. At 7:27 on the morning of July 1st, British artillery subsided and an eerie silence prevailed. 2 minutes later, a mountain of earth rocketed into the sky from a spot behind the German lines called the Hawthorne Redoubt, where British sappers detonated a 40,000-pound underground charge. That was the signal for thousands of men laden with 66-pound backpacks to climb over the parapets of the British trenches and march into no man's land. German defenders, who had sheltered deep under the surface during the barrage, emerged to fire machine guns, artillery, and mortars at their attackers. 21-year-old Captain Wilfred Neville, known fondly as Billy to the men of his East Surrey regiment, kicked a soccer ball onto the battlefield and charged forward. As he dribbled the ball into the barbed wire, German gunners cut him down.